everyone. Happy New Year and welcome back to Eastwick Cottage Garden. It has been a little bit of time since we have been out here in the garden space together, and I will explain that in a minute. But I wanted to kind of jump out here today and get in an end of December, early January garden tour so I could show you some things that have been happening in the garden and kind of talk about some of the plans I have for the upcoming season. So anyway, I'm going to turn the camera around and we're just going to get started with the tour, and then we'll talk about a few things after that. So we're going to start our tour, as we always do, in this immersive space. Not a whole lot has changed in here since the last tour, but you can kind of see better what things are going to be lasting and being evergreen in the garden space, and then what things kind of die back and will eventually get pulled out in expectation for the reflush in the spring. So we, of course, have our wonderful, phenomenal lavender here that is evergreen, and it is a wonderful sight in the garden, wonderful scent, and all year round, which is very lovely to have. But coming around the path here, we can see that in the center garden space, we still have the whipcord arborvitae that I'm hoping very much is just having its winter coloring and is not having any kind of trouble. We have in the center here, this is ice plant or Delosperma, and it is partially evergreen, so we'll have that little green mat the whole year. And we have our pancake arborvitae, which is now put on its fall winter coloring, and it'll green up again in the spring. We planted these pansies a while back. They are still doing well. This one is the struggle pot that the squirrels keep digging in, so hopefully it'll rally back in the spring. So coming back here, we have our second phenomenal lavender that we planted this summer, along with the kaleidoscope abelia that has been here for a while and is doing phenomenally well. There's our other container that we planted with pansies and celosia. The celosia has died back. I haven't had a chance to pull it out yet. This is also the pot that we experimented with the aquapot inserts, and we have not had to put any water in because we've had quite a bit of rain over the past few months, which is good. But I'm looking forward to being able to use this next summer and to get the benefits of it then. Coming around here to the back part of the immersive space, we have the dried seed heads of the little lime hydrangea. This put on quite a bit of growth this year and is providing a lovely architectural aspect to the back of the garden space. We also have the seed heads of the rudbeckia, and as you can see here, the birds have been having snacks of them, which is why I left them up. So it's very nice for the birds to be able to feed in the winter months. So hopefully this is my whipcord arborvitae that isn't looking the best, and I'm hoping very much that it is going to be rallying back when the warm weather comes. And there's Mr. Riley. Coming back around here, this is the herb side of the immersive garden space. There's not a whole lot happening because things have kind of faded back for the season. We have a little bit of sage here. This sage plant has been here for a long time. It's been here probably about 7 years or so. So I've had that one. And then we're coming back again to the phenomenal lavender. And you can just kind of see what is going to be staying and what is going to have to get cut back. We have the green, the blue-green of the dianthus. This is the key lime pie dianthus, so that's providing some evergreen color. So it's just kind of nice to have little spots of color and interest in the garden. And then we have the penstemon leaves here, which are evergreen, so they'll provide some interest as well in the garden throughout the winter. Coming around to the street side of the immersive garden space, I did change out my flag for what I consider my official winter flag. It's my friend Carol got this for me, and I like the colors. I think it's appropriate for winter. We also have all of the foliage from the hellebores here, which is providing a bit of interest. And we have the zebra grass that has browned, but is providing some structure and some movement. As you can see, it's blowing around in the wind a bit, which is nice to have in the space. So we're going to come around here to the long border that we worked on this summer. Done a whole lot of work here, and we have a lot going on. We planted a ton of bulbs in the space. We planted some foundation shrubs. We moved some things around. We planted some evergreens, planted some roses. So lots going on. So it should be very, very vibrant come the spring. And I wanted to point out that we have foliage growth, you can see right there, on some of the bulbs. I think these are the snowdrops. So I think that they will be showing, giving us some color and some flowers, probably late February, early March, maybe even sooner than that. So that's something to look forward to. And I'm very excited about that. I did get some containers from Facebook Marketplace. A wonderful man named John came and brought these to me. So I really like that. It's kind of hard to get these concrete containers. They're rather expensive, but this was a very good deal. And they're already patinaed, so they fit in with the cottage vibe. So I'm liking that a lot. So as you can see, Riley is off leash. And that is because we have fenced in the cottage garden. So this is something that I wanted to do for a while. I thought I wanted to get the powder-coated aluminum fencing, which is super expensive. And also, I want to plant on either side of the fence. So the point of having an expensive fence is to kind of show it off, but I want to cover it up. So I wanted to cover it up with plants, so it didn't make sense to do that. So we opted with black chain link, and my friend Arnold Thompson came and he installed this for me. He is also the person who built my deck. So if you're local and you want some work done, give me a message and I will give you his contact information. He does an excellent job. So I also bought some monograms. I've always wanted to have monogrammed fences. So a little backstory. For those who know, my grandparents built this house in 1952, and it had a white picket fence here, which deteriorated over time. But I wanted to put the fence back. So it's kind of weird not having the fence here for such a long time. But it is back now, and I always wanted to have monogrammed driveway gates. So that is what I did. I ordered these from Etsy, and I think they look wonderful. I also have always wanted, I'm going to come around here. I've also always wanted a sign on the outside of the gate for the path. So I'm going to show you that in a minute. So we have a sign now that says, "Welcome to Eastwick Cottage," and with the year that the house was built, 1952. Another thing that we did this year, in the past couple of months, is we started a new flower bed in the front. So we've extended the maple border all the way around to the front. And as I said before, I want to have plantings on either side of the fence. So we started with this one to make a continuation of this. We ran out of compost, so I have to get some more sometime in the next year, because we need to do this whole area here. This whole area is going to be a flower bed as well, and then also on the other side of the fence throughout the whole property. So we kind of took some of the stones that were on the other side of the maple border and kind of extended the path. I have to get some more to make a little winding path to lead across the yard. But that is what we have done here. In the front border here, you can see that things are kind of hanging in. Some things are evergreen, some things are somewhat evergreen. We have the mums here that have faded back, and I will cut them back when when the leaves die back a bit more. I'm very excited about this Greenspire euonymus. It has put on quite a bit of growth this year. It'll eventually be about 8 feet tall. I'm going to be ordering more of these to be outside the fence line and to line the path on either side of the gate here, one in the corner here, and then in the corner back here on the outside of the gate as well. We put compost here on the back side of the tree ring. There's a bunch of bulbs in here that'll be coming up in the spring, and I wanted to kind of damp down the grass. So we did the same cardboard and compost to kill the grass so that we can have as weed free as you can get. So this is the original part of the maple border. It's doing its thing. We have, the evergreenness of the geum and the hellebore and of the vinca here, and of the muscari or grape hyacinth. So that is how this bed is coming along. I cleaned up some of the foliage for the daylilies to clean that up a bit. I'm leaving the rest to compost down into the flower bed and to provide some shelter for any kind of beneficial insects. Full disclosure, I actually did this whole video a little bit ago. And then when I was listening to it before I went in, I realized I was in slow-mo. So that was horrendous. Anyway, so we're going back around again. So this is the grape orchard border, and it is doing its winter thing. We have the red twig dogwood that looks very nice, especially in the sunlight, kind of glimmers a bit. This is the sky pencil holly, which is evergreen, so we have the color of the red and the green throughout the winter. And we also have some of this is silver foliage from the catmint. I think it kind of looks really good with the red twig dogwood. I will be cutting it back earlier in the spring. We also have more dianthus here and some muscari in this area as well. So these back here are the Coronation Gold yarrow, and that is kind of semi-evergreen. So we will be cutting these back in the spring as well. I need to cut these back. These are the Japanese anemone. They are going to be spreading everywhere, which is okay because I want to put them in other parts of the garden, but I do need to come out and cut these back at some point. But this is the grape orchard border as it stands at the end of 2024 and the beginning of 2025. Coming back into the actual orchard area, we have our berry bushes. These are raspberries that were supposed to be fall gold raspberries, which are not. Anyway, then we have our wild blackberry bush here that is starting to bud out. I don't know if you can see that. Starting to bud out. And in this bed here, we have our party lights osmanthus that has put on quite a bit of growth here. And I'm looking forward to seeing what this is going to do in the years to come. It is going to be about 3 to 4 feet wide and about 4 to 5 feet tall. So it'll fill up this whole corner, and that will be nice. It is evergreen. And we have our honeysuckle growing on the vine here, which is also a nice evergreen aspect to the garden. I'm just noticing here there are buds on everything. I don't know if that's good or bad. But this is a peach tree, so an Alberta peach tree that is budding out. Going into the woodland garden area, and most of the things have died back. There's a whole bunch of bulbs in here that'll show up in the spring. We have some heuchera and heucherella, which are kind of hiding in the ivy. So they'll put on a bunch more growth in the coming season. We have more hellebore back here. This is an autumn brilliance fern and a Christmas fern. So these are the two ferns that are lasting throughout this season because they're more tolerant of cold weather. And the viburnum that's back here, I don't know if you can see it, it's kind of hard to see. It is right in this area here. It is actually doing well. The leaves have turned red and brown, kind of blending in with the fallen foliage, but it is alive and well and eventually will be about 8 feet tall and fill the space. Compost bin is going strong. I've been adding a lot to it and it has been settling in. So I'm looking forward to seeing what it does in the heat of the summer and see how fast things start to break down. For this side of the immersive space, I decided I'm going to go with hellebores in this area. It seems to be the only thing that really lasts. I planted several sweet woodruff. I tried to plant the wintergreen, and none of that has really done very well, but the hellebores seem to be going strong. So we're going to fill this whole bed space up with hellebores. Here we have some big blue liriope that's also doing well. It gets covered up a bit with the foliage of the tiger lilies that are back here, but it's still hanging in and doing its thing. So I think that, if we do the big blue liriope and or more hellebores, I'm kind of thinking about more hellebores. I really like them, and I like the colors that they come in, and I think the flowers are beautiful. So coming around here, which is the kind of the yard side of the immersive bed, we have Riley hanging out, being a good boy. We have some more hellebores and heuchera in this area. We also have the Bath's Pink dianthus here, and we have our iberis or candy tuft, which is actually starting to bloom. Here's another pancake arborvitae that's doing well, and another dianthus. But as you can see on this one, we have a lot of flowers on this iberis or candy tuft, which is kind of nice to see. End the tour with the deck steps beds. The lantana has finally succumbed to the frost. I also have to cut back the Peter Cottontail yarrow. It's right here. That's seen better days. The diamond spire gardenia is doing great. It is evergreen, so it is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. We also have some pansies here. So these pansies are more the purple and blue, and these were given to me by my friend Carol. So thank you for that, Carol. They're doing great. Can't wait to see what they do in the spring. The roses, this is the popcorn drift rose, still has its foliage on there, but that should probably start falling off sometime soon. And this bunch of sticks here that you see here is the Tiny Wine 9 bark. You can see that it's put on significant growth. See, down here is where it was originally. Oops. And it has put on quite a bit of growth, and I have also cut on it. So it's doing great. The Pennisetum here is doing great as well. This one is a little bit behind the other one, but it rallied back hard this year. It was really small, had kind of died back a bit, but it has put on quite a bit of growth. So hopefully in the next year it'll continue to do so. So we're going to head over to the other side of the bed. So this is the sister bed to that. And you can see that this Pennisetum here is doing really, really well. And I know the lighting, the sun comes around from this side first and then comes back to this side. So it's kind of interesting to see how that plays with how things grow and what loves it and what doesn't love it so much. So it's kind of an interesting process. And here we also have the Diamond Spire gardenia on this side as well, doing great, with some more pansies on the side. So overall, I'm very happy with how these beds turned out and looking forward to see the more growth that they put on next year. But I hope you guys enjoyed seeing the garden at the end of December, early January, and I hope that you guys have had a blessed holiday season and that you have a wonderful New Year and a blessed 2025. I just wanted to say thank you to everyone for your support, your watches, your shares, your subscriptions, and your likes and comments. So I also wanted to share with you that I probably will not be posting a whole lot of content from now until maybe late March or so. I have been diagnosed with a tumor on my kidney, so I have to have surgery for that in early February. So I won't be able to do any like heavy gardening or much gardening at all. I am going to be having Jeff come to help do some things, and I know my mom is going to come help, and possibly my nephews, to get some stuff done over the winter and the early spring. So I will be posting kind of like maybe before and afters of that, but the content might be a little bit sparse. So, and that's kind of what's been going on with me for the past. A little bit ago, I haven't been feeling well, and so we finally got a diagnosis, and we're going to take care of it. So I'm okay. God's going to take care of it, but I just wanted to share that with you all. And thank you again for all of your support, and I look forward to seeing you in the 2025 season. Take care. God bless. Happy New Year.